Sorry about that delay, guys. I did mention that it might be delayed because of how long the GP2 race lasted. But welcome back then, guys, to this live stream. It's now time for the final bit of action of the day, and it comes from IFMC GP3 Race 1 of their weekend. If you didn't see what happened in qualifying yesterday, it was new championship leader now after taking pole position, Josef Newgarden, who went on to take pole, with Robert Kubica in the KR racing car managing to get onto the front row, with Newgarden's closest rival Ferdinand Habsburg lining up in third place. So we're hoping it's going to be a very exciting race, and we could have that at this stage. So we've got 19 laps of action here at Donington Park for race 1 here, and hopefully it will be a good one. So before we start then, guys, let's mute this, turn this up a little, and let's have a look at the grid for race 1 here at Donington Park. Here we go then. So on pole position it is Josef Newgarden with Robert Kubica in second. Ferdinand Habsburg lines up in third with Daniil Kvyat in fourth. Jack Aitken will start in fifth with Lucas de Grassi in sixth. Nick Kvyat starts in 7th, alongside him is Daniil in 8th. Santino Ferrucci will start 9th, alongside him is Will Power in 10th. Felipe Nasr starts 11th, with Alexander Rossi in the Willows racing car in 12th position. Marco Andretti starts 13th, alongside him Kyle Kaiser in 14th position. Eero Vainio starts 15th, Michael Alation in 16th position. In 17th is Jenson Button, alongside him the returning Jarno Trulli for one weekend, replacing the weekend banned Sébastien Buemi in 18th. Nico Kari starts 19th, Antonio Fawocco in 20th. And on the back row of the grid, it's Anthony Davidson and Antoine Hubert due to his qualification. There is the grid then, guys, for race 1. And the weather, it is bright and sunny, so leave your predictions. Sorry for the drop of frame there, but without further ado, let's get to race 1 at Donington Park. So, here we are then on the grid then. It's Newgarden on the left of your screens, Kubica on the right, who is going to get the lead into turn 1 as we wait for the 5 red lights to go off to signify the start of race 1 here at Donington Park. So we wait for the lights to go off. 1 light is on, 2 lights are on, 3 lights are on, 4 lights are on, 5 lights are on, and it is going for race 1 here at Donington Park, and it's a good start from the front too. Sees that Newgarden's got the edge on Kubica. Ferdinand Habsburg had a good start. Will he try and do a similar thing to what Gasly did? And the first race, Daniil goes Habsburg on Newgarden. Newgarden trying to hang it around the outside. Through towards turn 1 now. There's a go side by side. Down the hill towards the green curves. Will Newgarden get the edge on Habsburg as they go down through Craners now then? Through towards left down, no they can't. Habsburg grabs the lead then. Through towards the first few corners. Everybody got through okay. Through the first part of the course. Let's have a look. Everybody got through okay. Let's have a quick look, and I think everybody has got through okay. Yes, they have. As Habsburg now then finds himself with a bit of a gap out in front. Newgarden in second, Kubica in third, but Kubica trying to have a look down towards McLean's now then. But Newgarden shutting the door there on Kubica, not allowing him through there as they go through the right-hander now they're on the track. And, well, that was that really as they head up towards the Coppice corner now, and the double right-hander on the track. And Kubica looking for any way through he can. As meantime now then Aitken trying to hold back Ferrucci. He's had a good start to get up into 6th place. Now remember in race 1 this is where all the carnage happened for the feature race a little earlier on. Kubica now they're tucking up onto the backside of Newgarden. Newgarden goes defensive. Kubica now they're flicking it to the inside. Will there be contact down the inside? Goes Kubica, but he gets the move done, and Kubica up into 2nd place. A fantastic move there. Out gets through on power. Will everybody get through the chicane okay as they go through into this chicane now then? And so everybody got through okay. Fawocco trying to hang it around the outside of Carvey. Davidson looking for any opportunity to pounce upon. And I think everybody's got through okay. De Grassi for some reason is down the back of the pack. Unseen by the camera. So something's happened to De Grassi from 6th place on the grid. We're unable to see what's happened because it must have happened down at the old hairpin. But De Grassi down at the back of the pack, and everybody gets through the Melbourne hairpin okay. GP2, take note on how it's done down at those chicanes. But at the end of lap 1 of 19 then here at Donington, it's Habsburg who leads from Kubica, who's now got up to 2nd as a result of passing Newgarden at the Fogarty chicane. It's Newgarden 3rd, with Kvyat 4th, Aitken 5th, Ferrucci 6th, Heifeld 7th, and Abt running at the top 8 at the moment as I go through the first few corners now then. Habsburg with quite a bit of a lead now then, out in front as he heads down the hill towards the old hairpin, and Newgarden down in third at the moment. Habsburg will retake the lead in the Drivers' Championship if it remains like this. They go through the old hairpin. Kubica now pulling a bit of a gap now between himself and Josef Newgarden as they will now go up towards the left-right chicane. Kubica looking for any opportunity to to get hold of Ferdinand Habsburg for the lead of the race as they go up towards Coppice Corner. And so up they go then through the double right-hander we go. And so now coming out of the corner now, they're heading up towards the chicane. And so now going up towards the chicane now, then we'll go Habsburg and Kubica now then. As we go up towards the section of corners now then on the track. Kubica doing whatever he can to get a hold of these guys now then as they go up towards the Melbourne hairpin. And so now going through the second to last corner, Kubica. And now heading out of the corner towards the final corner on the track, then we will go. And so now in towards the final corner then goes Robert Kubica as he tries to reel in Ferdinand Habsburg. But Habsburg now then has set the fastest lap of the race now then of a 1:23.708 at this stage now then. Habsburg setting the fastest lap as we go through the section of corners now then on the track. And sorry for the drop of frames there. And so that's that really as I go down the hill towards the right-hander. And so now heading out of the corner, heading up the hill towards the heading up the hill then towards McLean's now then on the track, heading out of the corner, using a lot of curb on the outside towards the double right-hander. Sorry for the loss of frames again as they go through the double right-hander at Coppice. Like it went offline for a little bit there, so that's going to have to be a lot of editing trickery that needs to be done there. I do apologise for that. But yeah, 5G just went down, so I've just switched to 2G for the remainder of the race. Hopefully it works out for the remainder, and that's even dropping some frames now. So hopefully it works out. But again, I do apologise for that as Ferdinand Habsburg now then comes out of the final corner, heading down the pit straight now then as he will approach turn 1 on the track. And the Austrian now then continuing to lead the way. And so that's that really. Habsburg now then heading down the hill towards the left-hander as he will now approach the old hairpin as he continues to lead the way on lap 6 of 19 there then. So now in towards the uphill section at McLean's, flicking the car in through the corner. And so now Habsburg now then coming out of the corner with a very good gap in front of the top 3 at this stage of the race. As now we go through in towards the corner now then. And Fawako now into the pits. What's happened to Fawako? And it looks like he's lost some front wing unseen by the cameras there. So whatever happened to Fawako, we're unsure. But Fawako into a pair of front wing. And well, that's his race now effectively ruined as a result. So that's Fawako's race done with. And it looks like some more mechanics are coming out for Kvyat. So it looks like those two have made some contact somewhere, but unseen by the cameras, were unknown as to what happened. So unfortunately, no investigations there, I'm afraid, because we haven't got any footage of that because of things that were going on my side with the internet. So Habsburg now then approaches the chicane as Kari is now into the pits for his scheduled stop as he just comes out of the chicane. And he'll now approach the second to last corner on the track. And so that's that really now. Then around the second to last corner then goes Ferdinand Habsburg as he continues to lead the way in front of Robert Kubica at the moment in this race. In towards the final corner then we will go. Heading down the pit straight. And what is the gap between the top 2 now then? As the pit mechanics are still out at the moment. There's Kari now then. Luckily for him, he's not a lap down, but he could be quite soon if he's not careful. What's the gap between Kubica and Habsburg now then? There's one lap 7 of 19, so 13 laps remaining. As we go through turn 1 now then, the gap is 4.1 seconds. That's what it currently looks like at this stage as we head down through the crane of curves. Now through towards the left-hander we will go. And now we will approach the old hairpin. And Kubica looking quite strong in second place, but he looks like he just hasn't got the pace to match Habsburg in the lead. Meantime, Aitken still stuck behind the backside of Daniil Kvyat as their battle for 4th continues. They both broke away now from Santino Ferrucci, who's currently in 6th place in the AYP racing car now. Then as they go towards the left-right chicane. And so that's that really as they go through the right-hander now then. heading out of the corner towards the double right-hander. We'll go Jack Aitken, as he now just goes through the double right-hander on the track. And so that's that really, as we go down the straight towards the chicane. As Aitken now then all over the backside of Daniil Kvyat, but again not close enough to make a pass on him into that chicane, so he's going to have to wait up a little bit and maybe try again in a few other corners. As Habsburg now then coming out of the second to last corner, trying to see if he could try and lap Newgarden if he can, as they now come up towards the final corner on the track. Now then we go, as now heading down the pit straight we go, and now down the pit straight towards turn 1, and through towards turn 1 then we'll go Habsburg. And let's see what the gap is like between Kubica and Habsburg. 4.6 seconds is the gap between them at this stage. Looks like Kvyat now starting to pull a gap between himself and Aitken. Looks like the top 8 is starting to settle down a bit, and due to all the carnage, it has left Rossi now up in 8th place. So after qualifying 12th, he gets up to 8th, and even surprising that, Jarno Trulli, the substitute for Sébastien Buemi this weekend, finds himself up in 9th place, taking advantage of all the carnage that was surrounding him with Marco Andretti. So he gets up into 9th place after only qualifying 18th yesterday, and so that's that really. Meantime, we've got a battle for 10th brewing between NASA and Elation now. Then the pair of them fight it out for P10, heading down the hill through the crane of curves. And then through the left-hander we will go now. Then Elation all over the backside of Felipe Nasr. As now we will go up towards the old hairpin, as he looks to try and get into the top 10 towards that chicane now. Then up the hill we go now. Then towards the left-hander, and now Elation gets a run on Felipe Nasr. Would he try and make the move at McLean's? And no, he won't. He will back out of that one. Pretty much taking note of what App did a little earlier on, but now it's putting proud to Jenson Button, the man who won race 2 last weekend at Spain. And Button now then trying to see if he can make his way up through the field after only qualifying 17th. As Elation goes to effective, Button now trying to dive it down the inside into Coppice, but Elation just parks his car on the apex there and keeps back Button, trying to get him into the path of teammate Carl Case if he can. Button so far in the Horizon Motorsport sandwich. Is Button now onto the pit straight, heading down towards the chicane. Button now down the inside. Will he get the move done on Michael Elation? Down the inside he will go. Has he got the move done? Down the inside he will go. Has he got the place? And yes, he has. Button up into 11th place, gets the move done on Michael Elation. And now Elation into the clutches of teammate Carl Kaiser, who may fancy his chances down at the Melbourne hairpin. Now then, in towards the Melbourne hairpin will go. Will Kaiser dive it down the inside? No. Tucks back behind his slipstream and keeps hold of that place for the time being. So that's that really. A few drops of frames there, I do apologise. So now heading down the pit straight now then, as Ferdinand Habsburg still continuing to lead the way out in front, as he's now on lap 9 of 19, so 11 laps remaining for the young Austrian, as he now heads up towards the left-hander now then on the track, flicking the car in and around the right-hander, as he uses a bit of curb on the outside towards the double right-hander now then. Habsburg now then going through these corners, as he will now approach the chicane. So that's that really, as Habsburg approaches the quick left-right chicane on the track. And so in towards the corner now, then we go. Hop over this curb and then that curb at Fogtiesses. And still continuing to pull away out in front from Robert Kubica, who's keeping a decent gap between himself and current championship leader Josef Newgarden. But at this stage, it looks like Habsburg will take the lead back off him in the Drivers' Championship to claim his and Auto Jamaica's first ever victory in IFMC GP3, as Newgarden now then just flicks the car through into the hairpin, as Kvyat has now pulled a gap between himself and Jack Aitken now then, as he just wrestled the car through the right-hander now then on the track. As meantime, Power trying to close up onto Ferrucci, as looks like Rossi's trying to get dragged along if he can. As his fellow compatriot Santino Ferrucci looks like he could be coming under pressure from Will Power very soon for 6th place. So far, Rossi occupying the final points place at the moment. Here is Jarno Trulli. So he's got a decent gap now in front of Nasr, as Button now tries to close in onto the Brazilian if he can, as he goes through the... Okay guys, we are back. I'm sorry about that, what's happened earlier, but I'm still dropping frames apparently, according to this. That's kind of a thing with OBS. I think that's a bit of a glitch from my end with OBS. I don't know why it keeps increasing frames every time. It keeps dropping frames every time I start the stream. It's been doing that for the last couple of weeks now, so clearly we've had internet issues, but that's that really. So let's continue for the third time. So Button in 11th at the moment as he tries to close up onto Felipe Nasr, and this is going to require a lot more editing work for when the rerun comes out, hopefully later tonight or tomorrow morning. As now going up towards Coppice Corner we go. Nasr occupying the top 10, but Button looks like he might be starting to close up after overtaking Elation just a little bit earlier on. As now we head in towards the chicane. And meantime, Habsburg coming around the final corner, and he's about to start lap 11 of 19 very soon in this race. So we now have 9 laps to go for race leader Ferdinand Habsburg, as he just goes through the first corner on the track. And now coming up towards turn 1 on the track then goes Robert Kubica, and that's that really. Here's Josef Newgarden in the Dacia Dorado, along with Kvyat and Aitken, Ferrucci, Power and Rossi. I think Rossi's even starting to close. It's the third time that's happened during this race. I think it's very clear my parents don't know how to reset an internet. So through the chicane we go, the Fogarty chicane, or the Fogarty S as it's known, as now we go up towards the second to last corner. And so through the Melbourne hairpin we will go as we go up towards the final corner. And at the moment, Will Power still keeping back Rossi at this stage now then, as we go down the straight now then towards turn 1 on the track. And Rossi now then continuing to try and pile the pressure on Will Power in front as we head in towards turn 1, as it's 1.5 seconds between Power and Rossi at this stage now then, as we go through the crane of curves. And so now through towards the left-hander we go, as now going up towards the old hairpin on the track. And so now going up towards the McLean's now then we will go, and now through the right-hander on the track again. And Rossi still trying to pile the pressure on Power in front of him at this stage, but so far nothing appears to be happening at the moment, as he's not getting up close to the Aussie at this stage, as now Habsburg has come up to lap that piece of traffic that was in front of Nico Kari. Again, what happened to him earlier with Fuoco is unknown, because the cameras weren't onto it at this stage, as now we go up towards the final corner, as Habsburg will start lap 14 now then of 19 here at Donington, as he head down the pit straight towards turn 1. And so now up towards turn 1 on the track then we go. Habsburg continuing to lead the way at this stage. And so now on lap 14 of 19, he's got a 5.1 second cushion between himself and Robert Kubica, and so far things look going according to plan for this man to take his first victory in IFMC GP3, as he goes through the right-hander on the track. And so now on lap 14, does that say? Yeah, lap 14 of 19 now then here at Donington. So this is now 6 laps to go. I do apologise. We now have 6 laps remaining in this race for Ferdinand Habsburg, and he's still struggling to pull a lap on Nico Kari. Could this bring Robert Kubica perhaps into play, into that fight at the moment? Meantime, back to this battle for 7th. Rossi still not close enough to the backside now then of Will Power, as they go up through McLean's and through the left and then through the right-hander we will go. And so now coming out of McLean's then, as we'll go up towards Coppice Corner now then on the track. And it looked like he was just a tad bit closer than what he was last time around. And now we go up towards the chicane now then on the track. And so let's see if Rossi's going to get up close to the backside of Will Power. And he's not close enough to make a move that time around. And So coming out of the curb, and now up towards the Melbourne hairpin, and we'll see in a little bit what the gap is like between these two, as these two will battle it out for P7 in this race as they come out of the second to last corner. And now up towards the final corner we go, and sorry for the drop of frames a tad bit there. Going around the final corner and onto the pit straight, and Rossi, let's see if he can get up close to the backside now then of Will Power. What's the gap like between the pair then? There's 5 laps to go in this race then, and the gap is 1.3 seconds. That's how the gap will currently stand at this stage now then, as they just flick the car through the crane of curves, and now through the quick little left-hander now then on the track. Again, sorry for the drop of frames, as now through towards the old hairpin. And so now 5 laps remaining for Ferdinand Habsburg. It doesn't look like that Rossi is going to get up close to the back of Power at this stage. It looks like Power's just keeping him honest at this stage. Habsburg finally putting a lap on Nico Kari there then, so he's finally able to put a lap on the young Finn, whose race was effectively ruined as a result of the unseen contact between him and Antonio Fuoco. As now we go up towards the second to last corner at the Melbourne hairpin, and so around the right-hander we will go, as he will now head up towards the final corner, and we will soon have 4 laps to go once Habsburg crosses the line. Around the final corner and onto the pit straight we will go, and 4 laps now remaining then for Ferdinand Habsburg, and he even sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:23.425 now then. So that's that for him really as they go through turn 1. And sorry for the drop of frames there, please stop dropping, thank you. As now, I forgot to say, now heading through the crane of curves, and now up towards the right-hander we go. And at the moment then, Habsburg looking good to take his and Auto Jamaica's first ever victory in IFMC GP3. So now we go through the right-hander, and so going up towards the double right-hander on the track then we go. And so that's that really. Heading down the back straight towards the Fokker S's. And at the moment, Habsburg looking good to collect victory here, as everybody seems to have calmed down now into a bit of a rhythm. Button isn't even getting close to Nazar at this stage. Well, I'd say that Heifeld's trying to make his way up through the field, despite what's happened to him, trying to get up to the backside of Anthony Davidson if he can, as they head down through the crane of curves before going through the left-hander on the track, and then towards the old hairpin we will go. And now up towards the quick left-right chicane. As meantime, here is Ferdinand Habsburg about to start lap 17 of 19 here at Donington, and he even sets another fastest lap as well. So he's putting in some more fastest laps here at Donington Park. Another 1:23 lap there, but just taking a few hundredths off. A few tenths off what he did previously. Now then, as he just goes through the crane of curves and then through the left-hander before approaching the old hairpin, and using quite a bit of curb on the outside before going up towards the quick left and right-hander now then. And so coming out of that corner now then before approaching the double right-hander at Coppice, and so through we go then towards the double right-hander, and now towards the chicane. So let's see how Ferdinand Habsburg is able to do, as he will now approach the quick left-right chicane, and so now going up towards the second to last corner, and let's see what Habsburg is able to do as he just goes around the Melbourne hairpin now then for the 17th time today. So he continues to lead the way out in front of this stage, and as here is Aerovinio in 15th, Lucas Di Grassi trying to keep up with him. Heifeld now then is probably the only battle that's happening on the track now then, as he just goes through the right-hander now, and then at McLean's. As now up towards Coppice corner. Will Heifeld try and get a run on Davidson down the back straight before going into the Fogarty S's now then. Through the double right-hander we go now then. Heifeld getting up close to the back of Davidson. He tucks up into the Brit slipstream now then. He will tuck up, look to the outside initially. Will he try and do the dummy off? And if he can, tries to go to the outside. But Davidson has it covered off. And Heifeld doesn't think about flicking it back to the inside into the Fogarty S's. Will he try and possibly get a run into the Melbourne hairpin perhaps on Davidson as they come out of the chicane towards the second to last corner? Then we go. And so up towards the second to last corner then we go down on the track. And again, Heifeld isn't close enough to make the pass at this stage. Here's Ferdinand Habsburg now then coming up to lap Antonio Fawocco in the AYP racing cars. He's now on his penultimate lap of the race, and he's doing quite a good job at the moment in this race now then. And Habsburg will approach the quick left-right chicane on the track, and so in towards then the corners. Habsburg now then flicking it in as he will now come up towards the second to last corner, and so in towards the second last corner then we go. And Habsburg trying to put a lap on Fawocco, but he's now going to be coming up towards the final corner, and pretty soon Habsburg will be starting his final lap here at Donington now then. So up towards the final corner then goes Ferdinand Habsburg. I don't know if that was a tad bit of a lock-up there from Antonio Fawocco's part there, but going around the final corner, Ferdinand Habsburg is about to start his final lap here at Donington. It's been a brilliant race for the Austrian as far as he's concerned. He started from third place, did pretty much a near identical thing to what Gasly did a little earlier on, where he got the jump on the front two and was able to get the lead, and since then no one has been able to stop him. Habsburg hasn't put a foot wrong since the start, and he's looking good to take his and Auto Jamaica's first ever victory in IFMC GP3. And well, we were wondering when it would happen, considering the pace he showed as he now puts a lap on Fawocco through McLean's there then, and cleanly done. And it now looks like that Habsburg is going to do that as he just goes through the right hander now then before going up towards Coppice corner now then on the track. Through the double right hander we will go. And he will now go up towards the chicane. And Habsburg now then is nearly there. I think you can just see there's Kubica in the background. He's now coming up to lap Kari as well. And there is Newgarden. It looks like Habsburg will retake the lead in the Drivers' Championship as a result, as Habsburg flicks through the chicane now then. And up towards the Melbourne hairpin will come Ferdinand Habsburg. He is nearly home now then. The Austrian has done a superb job in that car as the frames are starting to drop again. I do apologise for that, but it is towards the end of the race now. And Habsburg up towards the final corner then he will go. And it has just been the perfect race for the young Austrian. Round the final corner and onto the pit straight we go. And it is going to be Ferdinand Habsburg who wins race 1 here at Donington. Congratulations to him and the Auto Jamaica team. He takes his first ever victory in IFMC GP3, as does Auto Jamaica as well, and a fully deserved one as well. Robert Kubica finishes in second. Josef Newgarden, he's going to cross the line in third. Daniil Kvyat crossing the line in fourth place there. Then Jack Aitken, he's going to cross the line in 5th place in the end. It's going to be Santina Ferrucci who's going to cross the line in 6th, getting AYP's first points of the season after a tricky weekend at Spain last weekend. Will Power is going to cross the line in 7th. It's going to be Alexander Rossi who's going to cross the line in 8th place in the end. Jarno Trulli in the Kennystar Motorsport car making a one-off appearance is going to cross the line in 9th place in the end. So good result for him. Coming around the final corner, and Trulli is going to cross the line in 9th place for him there. Rossi's going to be on pole for tomorrow's race as a result. Nazar is going to cross the line in 10th. Button 11th in the end there. Then sorry for the drop of frames towards the end. Elation 12th. Kyle Kaiser in 13th position. Hubert 14th. And then it is Vinio who's going to cross the line in 15th, with Degrassi in 16th. Heifeld past Davidson on seen by the camera. So Heifeld is going to cross the line in 17th place, with Davidson in 18th in the end. Round the final corner we go, and Heifeld crosses the line in 17th position. Davidson finishes in 18th in the end. Andretti round the final corner and Andretti is going to be the final finisher in 19th. A lot of races wrecked. So 4 investigations to be done tonight in the end there then. So Andretti crosses the line in 19th position. So there you have it then. In the end, Ferdinand Habsburg is the winner here for race 1 at Donington. His first and Auto Jamaica's first victory in IFMC GP3, and a fully deserved one of that. So there you have it then, guys. After all of that, here was the results of race 1 here at Donington Park. Ferdinand Habsburg won the race with Robert Kubica in second. Josef Newgarden finished in third with Daniil Kvyat fourth. Then it is Jack Aitken fifth, Santino Ferrucci sixth, Will Powell seventh, Alexander Rossi in eighth, with Jarno Trulli ninth, Felipe Nasr 10th, Jenson Button 11th, with Michael Aleix in 12th, Carl Kaiser 13th, Antoine Bear in 14th. And if you scroll down the rest of the field, Aerovania 15th, and then it was Lucas Grassi 16th, Nick Heifeld 17th, and then Anthony Davidson in 18th, with Marco Andretti, the last of the finishes, 19th. The 3 retirements were Antonio Fuoco, Fuoco was 20th, and Nico Correa 23rd. The only retirement being Daniil Abt in the end, thanks to that clumsy crash that he caused at McLean's. So let's go and see who set the fastest lap of the race, who's going away with the bonus point now then. And it was Ferdinand Habsburg with a 1 minute 23.339. So along with the 10 points for victory, he also gets the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race there. He was 3 tenths quicker than Josef Newgarden in the end. So there you have it then, guys. That has been the end of race 1 here for GP3. They'll be back tomorrow at 1 PM BST, and that is the end of this live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. The podium is coming your way just a little bit after this, but until then, guys, that has been it. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you then, guys, tomorrow at 1 PM BST for race 2 of IFMC GP3, the sprint race at IFMC GP2, and I believe the 76 lap race European Grand Prix. So hopefully look forward to that. But until then, that's been it. I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. I've been JWF1, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the final bits of action of this weekend. Until then, take care. Apologies for the technical problems, and enjoy the GP3 podium.